welcome to this class. Today I really want you to think about embracing change, and we're going to be working with our mobility today. So a nice gentle mobility practice to create some space in the body and the mind too. We're going to start with a gentle breathing practice. So I'd like you to take a comfortable seat, whether that be cross-legged on the ground like I am. Maybe you have the knees bent, maybe the legs out in front of you. You could even sit onto a chair if that's more comfortable. It might be a good idea if you're sitting on the ground just to sit up onto a cushion like I am. Just really helps to get the pelvis into that slight forward tilt so we're able to sit up nice and tall through the spine easier. So when you arrive, just gently closing down the eyes if it feels safe for you to do so. If not, then just soften your gaze. Just starting to breathe in and out through the nose, no particular rhythm or pattern. Breathing in and breathing out. I'd like you just to notice how your energy feels today. Whether that be angry, anxious, excited. Just notice without judgment. And if you bring your palms to face down onto your legs, that can really help you to feel more settled and grounded. Okay, so we'll begin our breathing practice. And it's very, very simple. All I want you to do is continue to breathe in through the nose for a count of 4, and then out through the nose for a count of 6. If that sounds like a really long time to you, don't worry, you can speed up or slow down as much as you need to, just as long as that exhale is longer. That's going to really help to soothe and calm your nervous system. As you're ready, breathing in through the nose for 4, and then out through the nose for 6. And just continue to breathe this way. Make this the last round of breath. And just keeping the eyes closed if they are closed. Just allow your breath to return to its own rhythm, just in and out through the nose. Just notice how you feel now. Has there been any kind of shift in your energy? Do you feel more calm, grounded? Maybe there's no difference at all, and that's okay too. When you're ready, you can blink open the eyes. So we're just going to begin to move now. You might want to move your cushion off to one side if you were sat up onto one, just so that you can root down through the sit bones. So we'll come to take a seat on the ground if you weren't already. And we're just going to start to circle the body around. So with the hands on the knees, just circling. There's no right or wrong here, just move in any way that feels good to you. You might want to get the shoulders involved. You might find a little spot where it feels quite stuck and you pause and rock back and forth there. So really try to drop in and listen to your own body and see how it feels, what it needs. And then we're going to reverse those circles. So just going in the opposite direction now. Lovely. And then come into stillness. Bring the hands down either side of you on the ground. We're going to reach that left arm up. Find some length through this left side of the body. And then we're just going to tilt over towards the right for a side bend. So you might want to stay still here. You might want to gently move up and down, gentle pulsing. Just making sure that this left sit bone hasn't popped up off the ground. If it has, you've gone a little too far, just back out. So some of you might be quite up high, some of you might be able to come all the way down onto the forearm. Again, there's no right or wrong, just moving in a way that feels good for your body. This is your practice, no one else's. And just continuing to breathe in and out through the nose. Come all the way back up to centre, and then we'll reach that right arm up now, find the length through the right side of the body. And as you're ready, tilting towards the left. So again, just seeing what feels good here. We're not symmetrical beings, so what felt good on one side might not feel as good on the other. So just really listening to that. One more breath here. And coming back upright, we're just going to take a gentle twist now. So bring that left hand over towards the left knee or wherever it reaches onto that leg. The right fingertips just swing behind. Gently place the hand on the floor. Inhale, see if you can lengthen up through the spine. And as you exhale, twisting from the waist. So just gentle twist. There's no need to be cranking the neck back, trying to look over your shoulder. So we're really isolating the movement from the waist upwards. The lower half of the body stays exactly where it is. Breathing nice and deeply, take the breath right down into the belly. If you find your breathing's a little bit restricted, just back out a little bit. Lovely. And then we'll move to the other side. Right hand comes over towards the left knee now. Left fingertips go behind. Inhale as you lengthen up. Exhale to twist. So we're not using our hands to force ourselves into a deeper twist. We want it to be nice and gentle and feel good. And unravel back to centre. We're going to make our way to all fours now. So coming into a tabletop position. Bring in the wrists underneath the shoulders and then the knees underneath the hips. Just make sure that your spine is staying nice and neutral. So what I mean by that is we're not dropping the belly and lifting the bum in the air. Equally, we're not sort of pressing the ground away and arching. We're going to move through a few rounds of cat and cow. As you're ready, I want you to inhale and think of lifting the tailbone and dropping the belly. If you're not sure what I mean by tailbone, if you were to imagine you're a cat, your tailbone is where the tail would come from. So as you lift your tailbone, drop your belly, gently draw the chest forwards. There's no need to be looking upwards, you can just look ahead. And imagine squeezing the shoulder blades towards each other across your back. And then as you exhale, round the tailbone down and start to arch up like an angry cat. This is cat pose. Really think of pressing the ground away with your hands, your knees, your feet. And then inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the belly. Just gently draw the chest forwards, squeeze those shoulder blades behind you. Exhale to round. So as you round, you'll feel the shoulder blades move away from one another. We'll just take a couple more rounds. Don't worry about syncing the breath with the movement. It takes some practice. Just as long as you're moving and as long as you're breathing, it's all good. And then coming back to that neutral spine. Lovely. So from here, I want you to bring your big toes to touch and then take the knees wider. So about as wide as your mat, if that's comfortable for you. And then sitting the hips back towards the heels. Keep the arms reaching forwards. And then see if you can soften the head and the chest towards the ground. So if your forehead doesn't quite meet the ground, you can always grab that cushion again and just use it to bridge the gap between yourself and the ground. I'm just taking some really deep breaths here. So you might notice that you can feel the breath more in the back of the body now. And when we breathe, we tend to notice it in the chest or in the belly. And this is a really great position where we can notice that our breath is actually 360 degrees. Our whole body expands in all directions as we breathe in and out. Lovely. And start to lift back up, coming back to all fours, bringing those knees back underneath the hips. From here, I want you to step the right foot forwards in between the hands at the top of the mat. So we're coming into a low lunge. If that feels a bit tight on your hips, I want you just to shuffle that right foot further out so you've got this really wide base between the legs. Hips face forwards. And then from here, you can just have a little gentle sway, just easing into the hips. Maybe you make some circular movements. Just whatever really feels good for you. So we're just creating a little bit of space in the body. Okay. And then from here, I want you to shift the hips back, start to straighten that front leg. Maybe you flex at the ankle, maybe you keep the foot flat on the ground, whatever's most comfortable for you. Just gently folding towards that front leg. So you're going to feel a stretch into the back of that right leg. You don't want it to be too intense. So this is a great position to be able to control that stretch. You can always lift your body a little bit higher to make it less intense. You could always bend into the knee a little bit if that makes it feel more comfortable for you. Just take one more deep breath here. And then start to bend into that knee, coming all the way back forward. So we're just going to step that leg back. So we come back into our tabletop and move straight to the other side. So bringing that left foot forwards in between the hands. And again, just notice how that feels in your hips. Maybe you need to widen that stance. And just take a little gentle sway here, maybe some circles again. Just really feeling into that space at the front of your hips. So right in the hip crease, how does that feel? Probably for a lot of us, very tense and tight. So just see if you can help to ease that tension. Lovely. And then again, we're just going to shift the hips back, start to straighten that left leg, either flexing the foot or leave it flat on the ground. Gently folding as much as feels okay for you today over that leg. Nice deep breaths. If it feels too intense, remember you can always lift the body a little higher. You could always bend into that knee. One more breath here. Lovely. Bending into that knee, coming all the way forwards. We're just going to step that leg back. Lovely. And then come to take a seat. You can just swing your legs around, take a comfortable seat. Getting settled for your meditation. You might want to get that cushion back and pop it underneath your sit bones. When you're ready to, closing down the eyes, resting the hands, palms down onto the legs. Bring your awareness back to your breath, just feeling the natural rhythm of the inhale and the exhale. There's no need to change or control the breath in any way. Just observe it and let it flow in and out at its own pace. Now bring your attention to this present moment. Notice how your body feels as it rests here. Just acknowledge any areas of tension or tightness or discomfort. Do so without judgment, just simply allow them to be. With each inhale, invite a sense of acceptance. And with each exhale, release any resistance to change. Imagine that each breath is a wave washing over you, softening the edges of any physical or emotional tightness or discomfort. Now gently focus on the theme of today's practice, embracing change. Just reflect for a moment on the changes that your body and life may be going through. These changes, whether physical, emotional, mental, are part of the natural flow of life. They're not here to challenge you, but to guide you, to help you to grow and evolve and gain wisdom. Silently repeat the following affirmation to yourself. I trust the wisdom of my body. I am open to the changes happening within me, and I embrace this new chapter with grace and acceptance. Just allow those words to resonate within you. Feel the strength and calm that comes with acceptance. Know that change is not something to be feared, but something to flow with, like the waves of the ocean, constant, yet always bringing renewal. Take one more deep inhale, breathing in acceptance and self-love. As you exhale, feel a softening into your heart, releasing any last remnants of resistance. When you are ready, gently bring your awareness back to the room. Begin to wiggle fingers and toes. And softly open your eyes.